you have the ability to be flexible and do whatever you need to do. Who knows what kind of fabrics they're going to come out with? Detergents, products, mandates from government. In one Florida town, store owners got a letter, said we're creating a tier approach. You are at the top of our tier in consumption. So we've identified you as X surcharge. Okay? And the ones below you, surcharge. You're 2 surcharges above the normal rates, okay, that you've been enjoying. They thought they'd go out of business. So you know what they did? They came to us and talked to us. We talked to the city, and we showed them, you're talking about home-type washers that use 55 gallons for a single load. Your math's all wrong, but let me show you what we do. You know what? They came back and gave them a rebate, and they dropped their consumption like the other. Theirs happened to be around 4 million gallons a year, and they dropped it down to under 2 million. And when they did that, they gave them the lower tier rate and a rebate per machine for doing it. If any of you'd like to know what town that is, I'll give you the details. It was incredible. It's Orlando, just outside of Orlando, okay? That store owner put in all Horizons and all new Quantum Horizons and washers, and huge advantage. And you know what? They're thriving. Their business increased. People love them. They were heavily based on top loaders. So things like that, they reacted. And by the way, they were able to raise their vents. So they're winning on both ends. Okay, let's talk about gas and gas consumption. Yesterday's dryers, new to new, okay? Brand new to the old ones that are brand new, use 2,460 BTUs per pound of water removed. Has anybody ever pulled out an old burner? Are the holes the same size as the new ones? Never. They erode over time, okay? They're not like your car that adjusts the the fuel mixture to optimize the burn. When you change your ratio of what was set on that dryer, more air or less, more gas or less, it burns inefficiently, turns yellow, so it has to stay on longer to reach the temperature settings that it's built for. Waste your gas. But I'm conservative. 2,460 BTUs when it was new. Okay? Today, get past the graphics here. Today's dryers, don't you love graphics? I had a lot of time on my hands one night and I thought it looked good. Today's high efficiency Speed Queen dryers use only 1,860 BTUs per pound of water removed. That can save you up to 25%, new to new. If your dryers are burning yellow, you open it up and you look, there's more savings there, much more. But new to new, 25%. So if you spend $1,000 a month, you could spend $750, minus your hot water heating costs. And if those areas, if you still have an old water heater or a tank and multiple heaters on the floor, it's got to be killing you. That's one of the biggest things you can do. Get rid of it. Today, when you talk about all this less water, guess what? You no longer need all that water heating capacity. That was based on top loaders 15, 25 years ago. It's time to update your system, reduce your capacity, and go to instantaneous heaters so you only burn water for the time used. Does that make sense? Think about it. Typically today, if you have tank water heaters, they're 24/7 waiting for your peak demand to deliver. How often do we do peak demand? What percent? 25%. It's pretty inefficient, isn't it? Are we geared for the inefficiency or efficiency? With the new ones, we're for efficiency. How many people use hot water? Some of you in the room know because you have report systems. The last one I pulled locally, 50%. 50% use cold water. So think about 25%, not that 25%, 50% of the time they don't need hot water. Some stores might go a whole morning and never need any hot water. And with tankless, you never spend any gas to be there for that need, if it should arise. So that's really a great, by the way, the next biggest percentage, typically another 15 to 30% is warm, and then the smaller percentage is hot. Colors. You know, how many people come in and sort whites anymore? How many people have whites, right? If you're poor, you're not wearing whites, okay? And if they have colors, they don't want to ruin them by using hot water. So they use cold water. And I can tell you that in our house, I'm the only one who uses hot water on towels. My wife always tells me I'm making the dye go away. She's right, but I like hot water. She always uses warm on those. So it shows, and she uses cold on everything else. All the soap powders, they're all set for cold, right? Cold wash. That tells you. So things have changed in gas, okay? Let's talk about revenue per square foot. And I'm going to give you a little demo here.
This is Harold. Fine, John. I'm in a meeting here, so, yeah, excuse me. I'm in a meeting, so it's a little quiet. Yeah, no, I'm in Nashville. No, I mentioned the Katie.
Okay, I'm opening up our Coin software. This is a PC-based software. We can interact with the machines via an infrared device with my laptop, or if it's networked from anywhere in the world via PC. Okay, so that's an opportunity, okay? I'm going to go and show you here how we set up a washer. Right here in revenue per square foot, it's all about vents. It's vents and then it's space and so forth. Remember I said all those fixed costs? Well, you know, you have X fixed costs and you boil that into your revenue, your square footage. Then you look at what the machines can do from your square footage out. Just to give you a number, this is an interesting number. The average store revenue producing equipment on the floor is around 20 to 24% of the floor. All the rest is people areas, behind service areas behind the equipment, restrooms, and so forth. Okay? Today's laundromats are more efficient. They're more 24%, and yesterday's 18 to 21%. Why? Because boiler rooms, which we don't even have anymore in most stores. We put these water heaters behind the dryers. We don't even have a dedicated room anymore. Okay? They don't even take floor space anymore. They go in the end where you have dryers, meet in the corner, and there's that space. They can go there. Other places, they put them right in the storeroom on the wall, because you can have them in rooms like that. They pull in and exhaust the air, not exchanging the air of the room. So there's opportunities there. So that's one thing that you should know. Take a look at your numbers, figure that out, and see where you're at. Another thing is, you should have about between 65 to 75 cents, dollars per square foot, okay, at 3 turns. 4 turns, 75 to 100. To be a very viable store in today's economy. Unless you own it, the building, or your rent's free, those are important numbers to you, okay? And they still are if you own the building. You still have fixed costs. So what do? We have the ability to set cold cycle on this 30-pounder, 3 1/4. We can set the warm cycles at 350 and the hot at 375. So when this person walks over here and presses 3 1/4, and they go here, it's 350, and that's 375. They have a choice to make. And you know what? It's easy, because if I already put in 325, and then I say, you know, what's this warm? A quarter up. It's just a quarter. That's not a hard decision for an upsell. Usually car washes are $1 or $2 and a bump, right? This is just a quarter. And oh, what's hot? It's another quarter. Well, you know what? They were sitting in the corner all week. I saw the cat go on them, you know, or I didn't get to the laundromat. So instead of twice this week, I only went once. They're real dirty. What the heck? Another 50 cents. You know, that's the upsell opportunities. If you don't do this, you don't have that. You won't have as much revenue per square foot. Or you might have to charge for the worst all the time. How many people I say use hot? What percent? About 15%? Yeah, 15, 20 and more, maybe 30. So really you'd be pricing yourself out of the market for a lot of people. And people walk in the door, what do they look at first? The price, and they qualify it by the size of the door, and they have to look at the machine, right? So today's 30-pounder looks like yesterday's 35. And as you go up, the same thing. So that's an easy upsell. But then we took it one step further. Over here we have medium soil. We're going to give them extra wash time, 3 minutes. Like a special wash, but the difference is, it used to say special wash for that. Now it says medium soil. They can figure that out. Nobody knew what special wash was, so they didn't use it, right? It was pretty much, it was a good idea, but without marketing it, putting signs up and everything, most people didn't use it. Well, they use medium wash, and they use it in high percentages, okay? And then you go to heavy soil, and that gives you a pre-wash, because you're getting 50 cents. Sure, now you give them another bath, so they see it. So instead of 21 minutes on light soil, which is the default, medium is 24, and you jump to heavy at 26. So you've got steps there that they see. It's like the car wash. You see $5 at the street, what do you pay? $8, $9 typically, right? That's the, that's your lead, that you see it, it hooks you, and you pull in, but it says, it's the mediocre, okay wash. But you could have great wash, super wash, and super stupendous wash. And the car wash people, how many people own car washes? Anybody here? Right? What percentage uses the top two?
Enough to justify it.
Yeah. It's usually the majority of people. That's because they like choices. Now, are they capable of handling choices? Probably better than us. Guess where they do a lot of their purchases at? Vending machines, right? Do we? I'm in a hotel, I'm always trying to get my stickers, I always get something else, and I seem to never have enough quarters. I'm not a vending machine user. To me, there's a lot of buttons, and I think I'm pretty technical, but there's a lot of buttons to push before you get that Snicker or that soda in the middle of the night. So, but they use them all the time. They're capable of selection. And by the way, they like it. Those of you that vend and do offer snacks, the more snacks you sell and give more choices, the more revenue you make. So it's an opportunity. So this works out very well. It's very simple. But most importantly is, it's easy to implement. I said earlier today, a lot of folks tend not to increase their vends because to go through the whole store and do this for about 10 minutes per machine, and to the next one, and the next one, and then you make mistakes and have to come back, and then you get a call that says, you got a free wash on number 23, 30, and 41. So you run back to the store, see after a couple days you get it all settled down, it's good. So you say, I'm not going to do that for another 3 years. Wouldn't it be nice that you could do it like that? When that utility rate comes out in the paper, next morning, you're going to send new vents. Because it's going to hit you fast and hard. And if you do that, you keep your margin, and you're always, no matter what your costs are, you're growing your business, and you stay above it. We all like to make 20, 30% on our money, right? When did this turn into a job? If it turned into a job, is that what was our goal? Hopefully it was an investment, okay? And so I like to see 20, 30% return. We can't guarantee it, but we can tell you it gives you that opportunity. It's all about location, demographics. There's a lot of things going on. That's what Michael does for you. He puts that all together to give you your best chance of getting that type of return. But you got to use all these tools, and you got to stay ahead of it to stay alive and vibrant. And this here gives you that.